There are also reports that the Beckhams have cut ties with Meghan and Harry, reportedly after several paranoid phone calls from the Sussexes. Tell us about this.
Well, this is the thing. They were great friends, or at least they appeared to be great friends.
Prince Harry once imagined himself as a beloved global figure, an activist prince, a statesman, a celebrity. But at the 2025 Chelsea Flower Show, that fantasy collapsed with humiliating finality as King Charles warmly welcomed football legend David Beckham into the royal fold with beaming photo ops and heartfelt banter. It was Harry who found himself completely sidelined, watching from afar with bitterness and tears. The message was loud, clear, and brutal. There is no room for traitors at the royal table. This wasn't just a symbolic gesture. It was a calculated royal show of strength.
No, there's an ongoing tiff, misunderstanding, whatever you want to call it, between the Sussexes and the Beckhams. But eyebrows were raised this week when Charles appeared to find time for the Beckhams, but not Harry.
This is really interesting because this was clearly not announced. The Beckhams and the palace didn't announce it. It's been...
David Beckham, once rumored to be close with both Harry and William, now stood shoulder to shoulder with the king. A proud example of duty, loyalty, and national pride. Harry, in contrast, is now a transatlantic pariah rejected by his own bloodline and cast into irrelevance by a British public that's grown tired of his complaints and California posturing. It was supposed to be a quiet celebration of British horticulture and tradition, but the 2025 Chelsea Flower Show became the stage for a royal earthquake that left Prince Harry completely humiliated. While David Beckham, a former friend and global icon, stole the spotlight with King Charles in full public view as the king beamed beside Beckham, the symbolism couldn't have been clearer. The royal family has found a new national hero.
Couple were at their wedding. They've been pictured together at many events, particularly Harry and David Beckham. They seem to be quite close, but apparently that could be completely over because Harry has been making phone calls accusing David Beckham.
And Harry is officially out in the cold. Once hailed as the people's prince, Harry now watches the monarchy move on without him replacing his presence with figures who exhibit loyalty, stability, and national pride. In a stunning twist of irony, the very traits Harry abandoned in his pursuit of Hollywood relevance are now embodied by Beckham. A man who, without royal blood, is more royal in the eyes of the public than the Duke of Sussex himself. Let's be very clear. This wasn't a scheduling conflict or a missed opportunity. Prince Harry wasn't invited at all. The Chelsea Flower Show is a cornerstone event for the royal family.
He left London. David Beckham is apparently very interested in the King's Foundation, that charitable foundation of the King's. But I think this is really interesting because if you remember, David Beckham is very old school royals. He queued for 13 hours when
a celebration of heritage, environment, and monarchy. In past years, Harry was a regular face at these outings, but now he's not even in the conversation. Meanwhile, David Beckham walked confidently beside King Charles, warmly received by aides, photographed by the press, and lauded by the public. The juxtaposition couldn't have been more devastating. This wasn't just a social snub, it was a deliberate palace power play, signaling that Beckham, not Harry, is now part of the royal narrative. This decision sent shockwaves through the British media. Royal analysts noted the strategic optics.
And Patricia Treble joins us on this Tuesday for another Royal Roundup. Good morning to you, Patricia.
Good morning.
And we are only a week away from Charles and Camilla, their visit to Canada. But as we mentioned off the top, they paid a visit to Canada House in London this morning. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So this is coincidentally and very...
Charles, aligning himself with a globally beloved scandal-free icon who has served his country with pride. In contrast, Harry has been defined by lawsuits, memoir, tantrums, and Netflix. Tell-alls the monarchy is cleaning house, and Harry's place has been scrubbed out entirely. Once upon a time, David Beckham was a friend to both Harry and William. But that era is long gone while Harry alienated himself from the monarchy.
Grandparents had opened it back in 1925. So now we had King Charles and Queen Camilla. Queen Camilla, of course, wearing red floral. For Canada, we're going to see a lot of nationalism symbols. What we saw there, we've got Mounties, we had lots of...
Beckham has only grown closer to the institution. His involvement in the late Queen's funeral, his respectful tribute to the monarchy, and his refusal to engage in public drama have made him a favorite behind palace walls. Meanwhile, the Harry has torched every bridge in sight. He publicly attacked his father, smeared Camilla in his memoir, spared and portrayed the royal family as racist and abusive in global interviews. His attempts to monetize royal trauma for profit have turned even moderate royalists against him.
There are 5 brooches that have a Canadian connection, so she has a lot of selection to go with.
I feel like I need to write to Camilla and say, Tribble is watching you with her eagle eye.
Well, but
get out a brooch.
I think everything, symbolism, everything matters about this trip. I mean, there's a reason they're shoehorning it into every...
Charles's public embrace of Beckham isn't just symbolic, it's strategic. The king is rewarding loyalty over lineage, reminding the world that blood ties mean nothing without trust. Beckham's proximity to the throne is a direct consequence of Harry's betrayal. This wasn't just a family reunion, it was a carefully orchestrated royal signal. According to respected royal reporters, a senior aide was overheard saying, "There's no room for traitors here." The comment, while not directly naming Harry,
Canadian Parliament, everything has to be focused about that.
Okay, countdown is on to next week.
Yep.
Okay, we want to discuss this. We mentioned this at the top of the show, that it's being reported that the king has sent a note to former President Joe Biden following his cancer diagnosis.
Reverberated through the media like a thunderclap. Everyone knew who the comment targeted. After all, who else has aired the royal family's dirty laundry, launched lawsuits against British institutions, and fled the country to pursue commercial fame in California? This was a moment of institutional clarity. The monarchy, once cautiously silent on Harry's antic, is now sending unapologetic public rebukes. It's no longer about reconciliation or diplomacy. It's about containment and exclusion. Let's not pretend this was accidental. Beckham's inclusion at the Chelsea Flower Show was a calculated move.
Writing a letter, absolutely what the king would do.
Nice gesture by King
Very
Charles
nice.
there, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, meantime, Prince Edward attending the inauguration of Pope Leo this weekend on behalf of the king.
So Vatican City, perfect weather, absolutely spectacular weather for Leo.
He stood proudly beside King. Charles smiled for the cameras and spoke passionately about national pride. His presence didn't just fill a void left by Harry, it highlighted it. By platforming Beckham at such a public event, the palace drew a stark, humiliating contrast. One man serves his country, the other suited. One man remains dignified and admired, the other is now seen as a disgruntled outcast. This contrast didn't go unnoticed by the public or the press. Social media lit up with comparisons between Beckham's class and Harry's chaos.
Sure do. Sure do.
Windsor, literally hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people packed in. I can't believe it's been 7 years. And Meghan...
We were there. The morning show was there. And it was something. It was such a spectacle. Yep. It was really neat to be in Windsor for that.
Yeah, it was. I thought...
Headlines, praise the king for embracing loyalty and maturity, while columnists eviscerated Harry for throwing away the honor he once held. What we witnessed at the Chelsea Flower Show was no ordinary royal appearance. It was a public execution of Harry's remaining relevance, a cold, calculated message. The monarchy has evolved past its self-pitying, exiled prince. The future of royal public life belongs to dignified figures like Beckham. Not disgraced ones like Harry. In the days following the Chelsea Flower Show, polls and headlines confirmed what the royal family already knew. David Beckham is now more trusted, more admired, and more respected than Prince Harry ever was. British tabloids praised Beckham for his quiet strength and undeniable patriotism, while online platforms were flooded with praise for King, Charles's inspired choice of company. Meanwhile, Prince Harry, who once captivated hearts with his charm and military service, now languishes in celebrity purgatory, reduced to podcast flops and sporadic lawsuits. His decision to weaponize his family legacy for media attention has backfired badly. The British public, weary of his endless grievances, has turned away. One biting editorial summed it up best. Beckham stood beside the king with honor. Harry stands in Montecito with a microphone. This was never just about flowers. It was about public favor, national pride and trust, and Harry lost on every front. What's emerging now is unmistakable. Prince Harry is not only excluded, he's being replaced. The royal family is undergoing an image reconstruction post-Queen Elizabeth, and that plan does not include the exiled Duke of Sussex. The strategic presence of figures like David Beckham is no accident. It sends a message of modern loyalty without scandal, of strong British values untarnished by Hollywood ambition. King Charles, long criticized for indecisiveness, is showing a surprising degree of spine, rewarding those who uplift the crown and freezing out those who try to destroy it. And while Harry is busy producing underwhelming Netflix content and hawking Ghost in memoirs, the royal family is building something enduring. They're investing in statesmen, not sellouts. Beckham fits the mold. Harry never did this evolving landscape. Makes one thing clear. Harry didn't just leave the family, he made himself obsolete. Perhaps the most telling sign of all. No one missed Harry at the Chelsea Flower Show. Not a single royal aide guest or press member seemed concerned about his absence. There were no questions, no official mentions, no subtle acknowledgments. He has become irrelevant even in circles he once dominated. This marks a terrifying new reality for Prince Harry for years. His presence sparked global headlines, emotional reactions, and public scrutiny. No, his absence is met with indifference. The royal family has turned the page, and the chapter of Harry is barely a footnote. It's not just that he's been cut out, it's that no one is asking him back. He's not the rogue prince anymore. He's the forgotten one. With David Beckham rising as a new royal confidant and King Charles making clear where loyalty is rewarded, Prince Harry is left behind in a gilded exile of his own making. This isn't just about royal protocol. It's about national identity. Britain has made its choice, and Harry isn't part of it. Once hailed as a war hero who bravely served in Afghanistan, Prince Harry's reputation has spiraled into something unrecognizable. A former royal now infamous for late-night talk show appearances, self-indulgent podcasts, and a book filled with petty family vendettas. David Beckham's moment with King Charles only amplified this fall from grace. Beckham still commands admiration through humility and service. Harry, on the other hand, appears obsessed with grievance narratives, trading valor for victimhood. It's not just embarrassing, it's catastrophic. As The Telegraph recently put it, Prince Harry abandoned the institution that gave him purpose. David Beckham, meanwhile, honors it with quiet dignity. The royal family didn't need to issue a formal statement. The message was already etched in bold lettering at the Chelsea Flower Show. There is no room for traitors. And make no mistake, Harry is now seen by many inside the palace as exactly that. By appearing with Beckham and excluding Harry King, Charles delivered the royal equivalent of a public execution bloodless, but final A. It wasn't rage that drove Harry out. It was his own arrogance. The monarchy didn't exile him, he exiled himself, and now the palace has simply moved on. You can't betray your family, your country, and your crown, and expect to return unscathed. The lasting tragedy of Prince Harry's downfall is that he did it to himself. He had everything, status, admiration, a platform to do good. And he threw it away for fleeting fame in California. Beckham. Once a global football star has managed to reinvent himself into a figure of British stability and class. Harry, meanwhile, is known more for Spotify cancellations and court appearances than anything noble. The Chelsea Flower Show was never meant to be political, but this year it became a symbol of restoration of unity and of the quiet burial of Harry's relevance. The monarchy endures, Harry doesn't. And there it was at the heart of British tradition, amid blooming gardens and royal smiles. Harry's absence said more than his presence ever could. As David Beckham walked confidently beside King Charles, the world saw a clear and deliberate image of continuity, loyalty, and pride. No Sussex drama, no California pity parade, just British dignity. Prince Harry, once the nation's golden boy, has become a self-exiled shadow. Watching the country he left behind, embrace those who stayed true. The message from the monarchy is thunderously clear. Loyalty is honored, betrayal is forgotten. And in the new royal chapter unfolding before our eyes, there's simply no room for traitors. Like and comment, please subscribe my channel and more videos.